Could Bret clarify whether he thinks that the science truly shows that the climate is in serious danger of catastrophic global warming due to human use of fossil fuels causing a rise in CO2? It isn't really their limb of science. I don't blame them for being cautious, not wanting to go out on that limb.
This is a puzzle that I would say is like the question of vaccine safety and efficacy in the following sense. When you and I first encountered the news of the vaccines headed down the pike before anybody in the public had gotten one, we were hopeful about the utility and alarmed at what we were being told about the safety. Mm-hmm. And we were alarmed not because we knew anything was harmful about them, but because we knew that nobody who was in a position to tell us that they were safe could possibly know, because who knows, they had only existed for months. How could anybody know that they don't have a bad effect a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road? So the question is, well, what do you do in that position? And the answer is you grow up and you address the fact that no, they are not safe. They may be better, they may be more valuable than they are risky, but that's a discussion that has to happen. And it turned out that they were neither safe nor effective and in fact are harmful. In this case, the right answer to that question, I believe, is we do know that we are in danger from human activity elevating the tendency of the atmosphere to capture heat. And the way we know that does not involve these fancy models, which are no doubt wrong and polluted by the politics of the environment. And nor am I saying that this will happen. Nor am I saying that we know that this is where we're headed. But what we do know, we know from the work of Arrhenius, actually, that CO2 captures...
What?
Arrhenius.
It's a person?
Yeah. That we know that CO2 captures heat. We know that methane does too. It's in fact much more potent than CO2. We know that there's a tremendous amount of frozen methane in the Arctic. There is a plausible scenario in which the level of warming that is induced by the change in CO2 level, that is clearly the result of human activity, causes a burst of methane to be released from the Arctic, and that causes enough extra warming to release more methane from the Arctic, and we get into a positive feedback, which would have, I believe, a catastrophic impact on the climate. Now, there's a lot in there that we don't know. We don't know how close we are to that tipping point, right? It may be that we're far enough away from it that nothing that we are currently doing puts us in danger of crossing it. But nobody on Earth knows that we're not there. What we have is a mystery. Mm-hmm. Where is that threshold, right? So this is, again, I'm not telling you that it's going to happen, but I am telling you I do not believe there's anyone in a position to say we are safe from it. And absent that, we should take it very seriously, right? Because were the temperature of the Earth to rise suddenly and spectacularly out of our control because we had released this pent-up frozen methane from the Arctic, it would leave us with a much less lovely planet, and it would jeopardize us. I believe it's an existential risk because it would create an instant problem for continuing to feed all of the people who currently exist on the Earth, which means that it would be destabilizing. You'd have conflict, potentially, up through nuclear conflict that would result. So again, I'm not telling you this is where we're headed. I'm telling you nobody knows where the threshold is that dictates whether or not this thing is,
goes into positive feedback and becomes runaway.
Right, which could happen tomorrow. It could have happened 3 weeks ago, and we don't know it because it would take time for us to discover it. It could be that, we could burn fossil fuels for another 200 years and not cross that. We don't know.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm not telling you even that all that is right, but yes, my understanding of the puzzle is that that's the one, and that's why I am genuinely alarmed about the hazard, even if I don't trust the models that say where we are and how much warming to expect.